Yo, what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. Maybe you made something. Maybe you did absolutely nothing. Either way, I hope it was glorious for you. Proxima! Saffron, you're here as well. Thank you so much for the sub. 54 months, dude. Proxima, how are you this morning? How are things on the other side of the river? I'm just firing up the DAWs for the morning. I've been in morning calls all morning, so have not had the chance to actually touch things yet. And I'm unsure exactly what I want to do. Do I want to conjure more brand new weapon sounds, or do I want to start processing some of these to their final state? And I'm not quite sure. So that probably means I will probably load up a couple of sample banks, make some more shots, and then we'll do some processing. Shots. How many do we have here? We've got 130 sitting here. Okay. Prox is still waking up. Getting ready for a live set on Saturday. Trying to incorporate what I learned from the last one into this new one. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, doing well. Where's the show? Curious. Boke! How you doing, homie? Happy Monday to you. We can definitely look at some sound effects. Cook up some good stuff. Guys, remind me to tell people as they're coming in today. It's Night Bloom at Azoth. Okay. New event series. Cool. Okay, so as people come in today, I want to tell them that they should be asking Kwame Brown how his weekend was. Tomba! Welcome in. How you doing, man? Has been a bit, huh? Early last week, maybe? We're just getting started here this morning. Hope you're doing well over there. Good weekend? But yeah, I want to have a whole bunch of people surprise Kwame by asking him how his weekend was. He had some pretty spectacular stuff happen, and he popped into my DMs earlier this morning. I think he's probably a little too humble to be shouting some of this stuff from the rooftops. Hey, Toba! Congratulations on the engagement. Pretty sore head Sunday morning. Well, I hope the celebrations were all worth it. Cheers to you. Man, it was so cold this morning. Oh my goodness. What is weather like for everyone out there? It was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 22 or something like that here. That's Fahrenheit, which is pretty cold here for Oregon. We typically get a lot of ice where I am, not as much snow. And just like chunking off all that ice off the windshield bright and early this morning. Approximate Kwame Brown summoning circle. Glad to hear it was amazing, Tomba. Proxima loves the cold weather. Excellent. Overheat like crazy. 2 degrees centigrade here north of UK, says Tomba. Man. Yep. Yeah, whenever I bring up weather, especially in the winter, like temperature-wise, I'm like, oh, it's cold. And then everyone also around me is like, it's like 30 degrees colder here, so shut up. I used to be a bit more like Prox, like, hey, it's wintertime, that's cool. It doesn't really happen here that often that we get any kind of like wintry mix, so make the best of it and have a good attitude about it, have some fun, all that. But then my smartass went and I moved to the jungle. I lived in Southeast Asia for a while, and when I came back, I couldn't. I can't handle the cold. Like, it touches me differently, way deep down in my bones. It doesn't. It just doesn't sit the same. I get cold so easily compared to Chris of yesteryears, many years ago. You feel like you make better music in winter? I think I might too. Where in Southeast Asia? Thailand. So we had a place that was about 5K outside of Chiang Mai in a town called Nong Hoi, and it was fantastic. Lots of like adoptive family there because of the experience, and yeah, absolutely changed from it. We also spent a fair bit of time down in Malaysia. Then we came back up to um, Thailand again. But Thailand, like that's where the apartment was. That's where we lived for quite some time. And we did runs to all over the place. We really liked going up north. Um, Made it up into Laos a few times. Um, Good stuff. I miss it dearly. Connected is here. More creative in winter, says Tomba. How you doing, Connected? Happy Monday to you. Rock says, I visited Vietnam a bunch. Ooh, fell in love with it. Food is great. It's not at all what a lot of people like come to expect after like dining out at their local Thai restaurant. Um, Not in Thailand, because I think a lot of us kind of believe that it's all like stir fries and curries, but it's so much soup. Like there's so much soup. I think I, on average, would have eaten soup a couple times a day, which was typical. It was typical. Everyone has a soup stand there, and yeah, oh my gosh, just so many good veggies, so much good stuff. Connected says, Sam, I feel the winter locks us in. Ooh, okay. So Prox is saying, if I had to go live anywhere else, I'd kill to live in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh. I want to visit Malaysia sometime. Yeah, so when I was in Malaysia, it was a pretty interesting time. We were over on Butterworth, which is like yeah, absolutely incredible. Like if you want to experience one of the best melting pot experiences in the world, that's where you go. It's an island, and it's got all of the ethnicities and religions like in one little pocket, and it's fantastic. Walking down the street and you hear like chanting coming out of windows of one building, and then literally the next property over you hear like a big bell ringing because it's time for prayer, and then literally the next bill. And elsewhere in the world, these folks, these factions, these groups are like warring with each other because of beliefs, and here it's just like next door neighbors, which was really, really nice. And we lived specifically in the Little India district uh, there on the island for, I don't know, I guess about a month or so. I had gone there for this Envato meetup, which was on the mainland of Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, which was great. I had never been. It was awesome. It's a little overwhelming. There were protests and stuff happening. There was a lot of political upset and turmoil at the time. When we were in Thailand, the Thousand Year Flood happened, and that's when the burns started getting bad. Wait, that was also when the big cold snap happened. So like some things happened there. We also had like a couple of big eclipses in the same year. So I think a lot of people were kind of looking at that year as like a kind of like a pivotal year thing. Lots of interesting experiences there during all of that. Ooh, Connected's doing good. Gonna work on a song soon after having some coffee and chilling for a bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pad Thai is like the chicken Alfredo type food. It's like the thing that, or it's like spaghetti of the Italian world, right? Yeah, it's like the one dish that everybody is aware of or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty interesting going and experiencing like the real food experience of Thailand, and it's so vastly different in the north and the south, and um, yeah, it's really interesting because there were different kingdoms that came together over time in Thailand. So yeah, going all the way back to Siam and all that. Get lots of yeah, yeah, and tons of your drinks are just served in bags, and same with your soup. And go find a place to eat it. That's all good stuff. Absolutely wonderful. All right, so what are we gonna make? I think I decided that I was going to drop some new sounds in. Going to knock out some new stuff here. So we'll do that really quick. It's not sci-fi music in the background today. And we probably already got our mileage out of these sounds, so I think, even though it means going through and resetting all of these, I think I'm just going to dump all of these. Or can I? Wait, if I minus these instead of clear them, will I keep? Will I keep, guys, my envelopes and stuff? I don't think so. I gotta clear them all. Okay, so I'm gonna clear them all. And we're gonna put some new stuff in. All right, and since I really don't even remember which groups I pulled from last time, I will just do that this time. I'll just pull some random stuff. We're pulling from our first project where we bounced a whole bunch. More edited. Exported a whole bunch of different types of sounds. And we're going to start putting those into these sample banks over here. Then we're going to hit a fun little easy button for a minute. All right, so I'm going to get some mechanical sounds. All right, I'm just going to grab a couple more random ones for this last pool down here. And that will give us our early onset sounds, like our cocking and reloading type stuff. All right, so we'll go back and we'll shape those in a bit. Now we're going to get some body sounds. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go back to onset. This one has 3. I'm going to swap these out with some servos really quick. We're going to keep this one kind of minimal here. Got to respect the gazelle. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man? 51 months, Paul. Dude, you know, Saf showed up earlier and hit the sub button, and I was like, dude, 54 months. You guys have been around here for a little bit. Holy heck. Sheesh. All right, let's get a couple of servos here. And I want like these weird sounds, not the typical robot servos. So we're going to put in some stuff kind of like this. Not at all. In fact, maybe we'll just take that one. Hey, wait, where's my logic? There it is. Haha, Prox. Appreciate you. Big love. Go grab some free stuff from the free sounds and tell me what should go in there next. Oh, I'm going to put another servo in this one down here. Actually, I didn't clear out this one, did I? Clear that. And we're going to bring those samples back in here. We're going to get ourselves 3 more. Everybody coming in, I'm telling everybody, ask Kwame Brown how his weekend was. So when he shows up today, hopefully he shows up at some point today. I want everybody inquiring. Excellent, Paul. I'm going to, I think, officially release a couple of the dialogue packs that have been just exclusive to the community for the past couple of years. And then get a couple new community dialogue packs dialed up for them, for you guys. I've been thinking about how often dialogue is starting to be used again, and I think it's super neat. So I'm kind of thinking about having some form of dialogue in there at all times, and then getting more tonal and melodic stuff in there more regularly alongside it, instead of feeling like I always have to choose. What's up, Tumba? Yes, you are cool to use them in released music. Yep. What did Kwame do? I'm not going to tell you. Release something? Perform somewhere? Let's just say Kwame has put himself out there. You have a question. What's your question? Let's see what these sound like here. Yeah, I think those will sound pretty good. And let's do one more of these weird granular things. Just, we'll put it inside this guy. All right, so we're going to go grab some body sounds here. Paul says, OhmLab dialogue packs throughout my work. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Tom is asking, what is the musical term when vocals match in key with the backing tracks, bass, atmospheres, etc. perfectly? In key, I think. I think that's probably the most common, the in key. If you look on Discord, it's my teaser if you need to hear it to understand. Oh, the Gemini samples are really good. Yeah, I've scoped a whole bunch of other NASA recordings because I've been working kind of covertly on the side on a new little series of things which will be coming out very soon. And there's so much good NASA stuff. And I think that the large majority of the stuff that I have like the most interest in is older, and I've learned how to clean it up pretty well. So expect a lot more of that, but I think there will be some more modern chatter stuff coming soon too. I've been trying to figure out a good way in which to present all of that, because I think that stuff's going to be coming to us at such a steady clip moving forward, that I think people should have a really good resource for. So stay tuned to that, Paul, or for that, Paul. Is there not a musical term? Well, let's see here. Let me reread your question. What is the musical term when vocals match in key with the backing tracks, bass, atmosphere, etc. perfectly? I mean, there's different slang terms like in the pocket, or yeah, I think we'd be talking slang at this point, which I think most slang would resonate with everyone, but I think some could be specific to, genre and culture, or subgenre and culture, rather. Where are the sounds? Let me show you. Rocks. In the subscriber rewards here, just make sure you're Twitch and your Discord profiles are synced and granted access there. Boke, we will check those in just a sec if I didn't just say that. I haven't ever heard it if that makes sense. Harmony and synchrony? Playing in harmony? Ah, harmony. Yes, that is it. Okay. We've discovered it. And I think that harmony is like I mean honestly, it's one of the more important things I think in music in general, because I think it helps everything resonate and it allows people to resonate with things more fully. And I don't know, it kind of, I think it's constantly like cluing us into the fact that like one of many is the thing here. In jazz, it's doubling, yeah. Sounds are in the DM. Excellent, excellent. Tomba, are you searching for like a specific word and we're not hitting it? It's that's a frustrating thing. None of us are trying to be difficult though. Promise. Boke is sliding in with some fresh sounds this morning. Oh man, that moment when your tea is no longer actually hurting you, like when you're really wanting to get a big slurp in, but it's still too hot. But it's at that temperature where taking a good gulp of it is just barely not hurting you. Mm. And like all of you warms up. Tomba says, I think it's the combination of notes in my bass and the vocal sample that just stand out. Never heard it harmonized like it before. Maybe my ears are learning. Chris, you're actually drinking a cup. I'm drinking a cup of tea. You know, the neat thing about what you are experiencing right now, Tomba, is that this will continue. Like as you continue to train your ears, which is something you can intentionally do, and there's a lot of things that you can do to help that process. But the more that you do, the more you start to kind of unlock and realize more around you, just in general. You might even notice it in simple things like the reflections in the air, like from birdsong when you're sitting next to a pond or something. It's rather profound, like the types of things that you start to pick up on. And more than anything, it's like this permission slip that you've given yourself. It's like this allowance for you to like take the time and the care to simply tune into the attention to detail that is surrounding you. And then being able to parlay that into what you're working on is just utterly fantastic. But the first part is actually just acknowledging that it is there, like being aware of it. And then it takes a little time for you to actually capture like all of the brilliance of it. But just like learning a new color or whatever, like as soon as you come in contact with it, you can't unlearn that. So sympathetic resonance. Yes, Paul. Prox says, hold up, you set the icon of the folder for the samples? That's such a nice touch. Holy. Oh, yeah, I guess I don't even think about it anymore, but yeah, I think I started doing that. Oh gosh. I think I started doing it as soon as Apple allowed for it in the Finder, which would have put it back in the realm of G4 days. Like processing chip wise, so that would have put it. We were talking probably like I guess it's been that way for about 20 years. About that, maybe even a little bit longer. Yeah, I like little touches like that. I think they matter. Before it was because it needed to be found easily, and then it was probably just the marketing guy in me, just like, well, it's got to be branded. Like if it's gonna be part of the experience, it's got to be branded. And my gosh, has all of that become so lax over the past few years? Like, I don't even know if I include. Tell me, is there a license file in there and a thank you file in there? What pack did you download, by the way? What is up there right now? Tumba says, "Oh yeah, 100%. When I heard it the other night through the speakers at full blast by complete accident when playing on my MIDI keyboard, I got goosebumps." Yeah. Yeah. There are going to be times where you're going to level up your mixing and your mastering, and you're going to go back and you're going to revisit a project that you did a while back, right? And it's going to sound so completely different to you upon playback after applying your newfound skills that you're going to swear there's something new in there that you don't remember ever putting. Like there's a totally different instrument in there that you don't remember putting in there. And it's probably going to happen to you a bunch of different times. And really, it is about just the ability to, yeah, just acknowledge and appreciate those little wiggles. It's utterly fascinating and wholly worth the adventure. Yeah, absolutely. Paul says, "You made a great accidental discovery. I get that so much with my music, especially when I listen at louder levels. Elements just jump out." Yeah, it's also what I think makes a lot of people like fall in love with electronic music in live settings. Um, there's just so much that occurs that doesn't occur outside of the live setting. Tumba says, "I felt like it was me eating a brand new food that I've never ate before that was unbelievably delicious, and now I can't get enough of it." That's what it felt like, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is exactly, yeah, this makes all the sense in the world. This is why harmonic information is so important, and why I'm always saying, like, hey, I would love to hear you find your loudness through saturation rather than other means like limiting and compression, because that doesn't give you any more information, like interest to work with. But when you start jamming stuff together that has more and more interest in it, then you get all these little happy accidents that you never ever expected. Yeah. Fox says, "Little touches like that are so important. Has a human being made this feeling? It goes a long way." Huh. There is a file. Okay. Good to know. What pack did you download, by the way, Fox? Um, Someone says, "Yeah, you nailed it, Chris, and it's 10,000% thanks to you with your kind of words and about levels, mixing, sequencing that I've learned this." Oh, that's always good to hear. That's always really good to hear. I think it's really important to bring this into like a normal conversation realm with vernacular, like with all the words being used. I think it's really super important to not just fall prey to our own desire to sound, overly intellectual or whatever. It's important to just relate these things to common senses and words and stuff so we can all freaking grok the important stuff, you know? Yeah. Oh, you got the despotism one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Despotism. Yeah, I put that out. I don't know. You could probably check the creation date on the files. It's older. It was during the first go around with the big orange. All right, let's check out what Boke Nero made. It's been sitting there patiently, waiting for us to listen. Oh, oh. And Paul is saying also, I never listen on headphones. Let the room work its magic too. That's a super important thing. That's a super important thing. Like when we're all together, I'm always in the cans, but it's so important to like actually hear the soup. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Word soup is such an issue in production. If you can't explain a concept to someone completely new to the concept, you don't know it well enough yet. Yeah, yeah. Boke, I appreciate you, homie. You, sir, have been absolutely killing it. I hope you've been taking the time to soak some of it up and appreciate what you're experiencing right now. Yeah, yeah, Boke. It's good. Mondays are good. I feel like we've really calmed down on Mondays, and we don't try to like just power through and stay productive the whole time. It's nice to kind of take the foot off the pedal a little bit and just chat. Other people like wander in and out here on Mondays now, I think, wondering like, what is this stream about? As we like kind of bounce between like random conversations and production and feedback and more random conversations. Brock Paragon. Yeah, I kind of feel like we've turned the corner and there's going to be another resurgence of dialogue in music. It kind of goes in cycles, I feel. So many things do. All right. Let's check this first reel here from Oak. Some good fire.
Pathetic. What? You call that kung fu? Allow me. Mindless move of yours. Finished already? Damn you! Fast, but weak. What? You shouldn't have done that. Kill you. I'd like to see you try.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. Hey, Control 4 official. How you doing? There is this, well, we've had this conversation before last time you really leveled up when we started talking about more nuanced stuff, but you've absolutely done this again. I feel like there's this new level up. You're probably going to be at this plateau for a little bit. It's way more balanced. Nothing feels like it's being forced in an like unnecessarily overt way to get attention, which is really great. I think now this comes down to shaping proximity and like nuanced delivery. So I want to run through just a couple of like really specific points with you on this one. Let's do the very last stuff first. This is textile stuff. So this is just the sound of their clothing and stuff, their breathing, their footfalls, that type of thing. The incidental environmental stuff, right? This is back up here, well, before the big second try. Okay, so just listen to his body shuffles and stuff.
Is true kung fu, not that mindless move of yours.
And it's like you're doing the right things. We've got the yellow guy is panned to the left, and this black guy is moved to the right, but I think just a little bit more would be good, right? Think of this more like split screen than shared screen, right? In like an approach to dialogue almost, right? And the dialogue does sound pretty good for where they are. And then the other thing is just the volume level, right? So as they're further apart from one another, the incidental sounds can come down just a little bit. Like even the footfalls can come down a little bit and the clothing can come down a little bit. And then when they're closer together, those can ramp up, right? Now the same can be said about the attack sequences, right? There's the big hits, there's the initial onset hits. Those two kind of usually get like a bigger transient bump or whatever. And then you've got these others, right? Maybe there's a sequence of 6 melee hits, right? Let's highlight 1 and 6 and bring 2 through 5 down just a little bit, like maybe 6 dB or something like that. So it's a noticeable bump, but it's not going to take away any of the power of any of it. And then the other thing that you do with those to accent, like on the 1 and the 6, would be to take just a really simple like enveloper tool. And this could be like transient master or something just really simple like this, where you just have like literal control over the gain peak of the attack, and then the timing of that, of course, like, so you can give those initial onset hits in a sequence and the big boss breaker hit at the end. You can give those, like a 30, 50, even as much as like a 75% attack bump, like an accent. And you'll be shocked by what a move like that can actually do in a larger sequence. Like when you're withholding on several and then you're really accenting on one and allowing it to have a volume bump and this transient bump all at once. Those types of things really translate, especially on smaller playback systems, right? So Roblox would really, really benefit from something like that, I think. All right, we got more on this. What do you think about the 36 part? Let's see. Same. I like the moment. There's two things there. The small sequence leading up to the jawbreaker, I would bring down just a little bit, but then accent the jawbreaker hit. And then the other thing I would do is I would probably saturate with maybe just a little bit of super clean overdrive the bell tone, so you can generate just a little bit more harmonic information in there, so it really resonates. The volume level of that is fine, but I think if you could really kind of charge the ring there, if it isn't quite enough with just a little bit of saturation, because you don't want to distort it or else it's going to do the opposite of what you really want, right? The other thing you could do is you could do like a pitch shift or like a secondary shift intro where it's like bong bong, right? Where you've got like a second iteration of that bell tone. It's been pitched up 1 to 3 octaves depending upon taste, or maybe it even goes up a 7th just to get that extra little ring out of it, that harmonic ring. And then you just do like a little volume curve, so it comes up over time, so it crescendos with that added octave on top. That's a really nice kind of shimmer move, right? Like, ooh, look what I did. It's extra fancy. Like adding tonal synths to these X-ray type scenes. Yeah, I think that's a really great thing. I also think that you can play into that, right? Like if we go back and we look at this just really quick, not to spend too much time on this 1 second, but it's kind of worth it if it becomes a signature move. So let's just go back. What I'm looking for is there timing for an additional sound effect that could be like the sound of the old X-ray lamp turning on when they pull on the little beaded thing, the little, that comes on. Ooh, or using the like texture of some breaking celery, okay? So like additional bone breaking type stuff. You mute that in the project, but you use it to create a texture layer through gating in the bell sample. That would be super, super dope. That would be an ace move right there. Starkler, welcome in. Is this an edit or a mod? Oh, this is an edit. This is sound being done for unreleased stuff here. Oak Nero says, mind you, the other clips I sent you are, I guess, raw sounds, so not played directly from the game, which means they'll be at their maximum volume instead of being quarter if you're further away, so I'm warning you, it may be loud or strong. But I mentioned all the DMs, so there are 2 separate clips. Gotcha. Yeah, there you go. Control 4 says, or even better, just render a note you want to process and process that note individually, pitch shift, etc. Yeah. Yeah, the nice thing about figuring these things out in the procedural stuff is that you really only have to dial in the idea one time, right? And then it's easier for you to kind of parlay it in the future. All right, let's see what else is going here. Okay, so these are a bit older. They'll probably be a little bit louder too. Oh, can I just say that the fire in the initial onset of the first video was really good too. The levels, really quite good. I'd bring down the level of the rubble in the initial introduction of the weapon, just so you can kind of focus a little bit more on the weapon. I think everything else is pretty solid. All right, let's check these guys. All right, I like this, but I'd like more elemental representation. I like the heartbeat. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a little bit more like filtered sub. I kind of like where it is right now, but I think it should have some kind of for the fire of this guy. Just like the flame. This is like all up in this guy's grill and he's about to die. And it's probably like the last things he's hearing is his heartbeat and some weird, wild fire churning in his face. Oof. So the lemon punch, or I mean the melon punch sound effect type thing in here, I think is maybe just a bit much. It kind of makes it hard to understand what's occurring because we don't see. So we're kind of using our imagination with what we're hearing here. But I'm just watching his body move. Let's listen to what's being represented here. I guess it's only like 4 or 5. Okay, so he does this weird little head knock thing first. I think maybe hit that a little bit harder. And you know what might feel better with the 4 little kind of thing that happens? Maybe if it kind of pitch shifts up, like ramps up, just like, or something, like just like it's ratcheting up or something. I don't know. It's cool to try to imagine what is actually happening in those moments we're not actually seeing. The heartbeat, the devs added it. Don't know why. I personally didn't like it that much because it's still going at the end. Yeah, it does kind of outlast the effect though, doesn't it? Yeah, the timing of it is a little off. Yeah, maybe a sudden reverb on the last knock. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of split as to what should happen on these knocks, but I think if there's something to explore in this one, it would be that moment right there, the stuff that's happening kind of off camera. Okay, I love the car alarm. I think there should be a steeper volume curve on it. So like when he's being yanked away violently, that the car alarm gets yanked away very violently as well. Um, and maybe we can like hear it kind of tumble, like if it sounded like maybe he was tumbling head over head in the air while he's going through the air or something. I think that'd be freaking awesome. I like this one. This one feels like it's got a fair bit of like rambunctious energy in it. Maybe a different impact sound when he hits the building versus the other things. It kind of sounds like he's having the same kind of impact a few different times over. So maybe a different one on that one because that one is sandwiched in the middle of these sequences. Oh, you can actually see. Right. Of course, you've got different clips for this. Yeah, this one's pretty good, right? Control 4. Right. And the reason why the car alarm is not heard is because they teleport up the sky. Ah, which is far, far away from the car. Okay, yeah, see. Yeah, your attention to detail on the environmental proximity stuff has been so good. Again. I kind of almost want a little bit more from the drone action because you've got like this guy like standing up and walking away. So I kind of want it to feel even more automated. I really like that you put that in there because it conveys this message of like automaton kind of thing happening. I want to see this one more time. That's a clever use of sound. But the kill stroke, I feel like could have something. I think what maybe could happen is there's almost like a suckback effect of that drone, right? So like the the drone gets automated down at the same time that the suckback occurs. So it's like we're wrapping up all that magic now and just whoosh. So there's just like this very succinct slice at the end. This is a dope one. I like this. These last two are pretty creative. Control 4 saying you could automate a notch filter around 160, 260 and lower it down, up and down, depending on how close the camera is to subjects. Yep. 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 Yeah, these are solid. Solid. Alien Tech, Oblivious, Vex Perk 4 made by Vex. Meltdown is made by me. Okay, let's listen to these. This one is Royvex. Huh, that's nice. It's like a little comb. Although this feels synthesized more than it does sample manipulation. Okay, so this is Impact Alien Tech. These are all by Royvex, aren't they? I like the little that like kind of almost hiccupy kind of. All right, that's yours, right? This one. Yeah, I like this one. All right, this is Oblivious. This is very trailer FM sound effect. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of trailers. Yeah. Very like cyber effectsy. Yeah, yeah. What's this one here? Oh, this is the other angle on the same one. Got it. Yeah, it's cool that you could do that. Yeah, right, some epic drums. Fully. Okay, what were we in the middle of over here? We were doing some stuff. Oh yeah, make some guns. Doesn't look as good when cutscene is turned off. Oh, of course, of course, of course. All right, let's grab some body sounds here. What is everyone working on this week out there? Let's start from the bottom of this list this time. Why am I not grabbing a file here? What's going on? There we go. All right, let's move down to this one. Let's do, maybe we'll just do a short run here. Just a few from up here. All right, and let's do just a couple more. Bank. Okay, and let's move on to some thump. We'll put a couple of whoosh samples in here. These are not what we would typically consider to be whoosh. They're just by shape alone associated with a whoosh. Very well just call these swell or something. And we're going to actually use these as a thump layer, which is not what they're intended to be used for. That's okay. All right, so we got a couple. And let's do some tails. Ooh. Paul needs to go do taxes. But he's going to go work on some mixing instead. Take care, Paul. Oh, yeah, taxes suck. Taxes suck. Truly. Boke says, I'm also working on a song. Well, it's sort of finished. It's a collab. Now the issue is to actually get it signed on a label. Why I say that is because it's a house disco track. We use guitars and we detune them. And I think they're heavily off key, but at the same time, it sounds unique. So we have to find a label that matches our weirdness. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, man. Yeah, you know, I've been hearing some folks talking about a bunch of snow happening too. Not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect here. I think I actually need to tune into the news for a change and see if we're going to get inundated this week. Right. That's weird. My system seems to be just a little bit laggy right now, and that just makes me feel like I need to. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with this machine. I just, whenever things start acting a little awry, I'm like, oh man, need to run some maintenance. All right, we haven't shaped any of these. Let's just see. Okay, let's go ahead and shape some of these then. Got a fairly decent palette here. Oh, Control 4 says I need to finish a disco track. Got 20 days. Boke says, do labels simply not accept tracks that use weird techniques? No, I think it's more just about finding some labels that reach crowds that appreciate weird. I think that's all you got to do here. Rip Boy's here. Hey Dave, how you doing, man? Happy Monday to you. Saying Boke Nero labels will only accept what they think people will pay to listen to. If you're too far off the beaten path, most labels will unfairly conclude no one will pay for the track, right? 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 Hmm. Yeah, that is the proof in the pudding equation, right? Showing that you can fill a house or whatever. I feel like we can kind of get a little bit of that too online now for those that stream and whatnot. I think that if we could have just a small revisiting of what was occurring during the pandemic, a lot of artists would probably realize that there was some benefit to capturing some of these moments in an online setting. Just from like a purely business perspective, it's great. It's great to have like touch points with crowds and like show that they happened. But from a community level, I think it's even much more impactful because there's real connection, like genuine connection happening between real world occurrences. So. But I do feel like a lot of people stopped entirely what they were doing during the pandemic with streaming, which is kind of a shame. I get it. But there were some pretty cool things happening there. All right, let's do a bunch of shaping with these. Let's make all of these envelopes. And make these envelopes. Let's do this one an envelope. And this one speed. And we'll set a range on this guy too. That one a little quicker. Ooh, snappy. Okay, let's get the body dialed in as well. Set up these envelopes. I'm going to actually bring down the speed on one of these, but I'm going to give it a fairly good range of operation. I'm going to speed up this other one a fair bit. Oof, okay, yeah, this quick one really wants to work with these thumbs. Okay, let's get this set. We're going to speed these guys up. And instead of this, we'll just go with a little envelope action here. right, and now let's give these guys an envelope. All right, and the tail. Well, let's see what this sounds like. Some timing stuff we got to figure out. Okay, and we'll get the tail here. Let's drop these down here. You guys let me know if this background music is annoying. Oh, Britboy saying, OhmLab, I have my AMA, ask me anything question. Which genre of music would you find most unique but still enjoyable if I submitted that style to you one day? Ooh. Ooh. What would I find most from you? Ooh, you know what I would love to hear from you? Are you familiar with the band The Books? They're no longer together. But boy, were they great. There's a fair bit of sampling involved, but there's also this very like classical approach for constant underpinning of like just musical interest. And yes, okay, so if you're already familiar with the books, then anything like that kind of resonate with you, like in on the production side of things? Because something tells me there are some times where I hear some of your chords and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'd love to like chop that, backmask that, like get that thing in a kind of a rhythmic little loop, a la the books, or like Boards of Canada, or something like that. But you know, they make such clever use of simple dialogue in the vocals, like in place of vocals, but they're I think you probably are already picking up on the vibe, but like yes, just the musicality of all of it though, it's so game on. Yes, right now, forget I asked anything, and in a week or two get ready for the books. Yay, Davey style. I'm stoked about this. Oh, that just made my whole day, my whole week probably. That's awesome. Ha! That's great. That's great. Anybody doing anything like creative or special or anything for their other with Valentine's approaching, or are people feeling kind of not so Valentine-y this year? I haven't heard many people talking about it this year. I feel like that's been kind of waning in recent years. Relationships are for jumps. That may be true, but you still matter to me, Olivia. I still care what happens to you. Call me a chump. Britboy says, my entire family is going to Disney in Florida apart from me. I'm going to work instead to pay off the loan to send them there. Sounds pretty romantic to me. This right here is our fate, my friend. We exist in a timeline where we actually are not participating in a fair bit of what happens because we have to make those things a possibility. Ah, don't make you feel things. Feel things, damn it. Feel things. We love you, Liv. This fam, like this relationship thing, this matters. This all matters. That's real. All right, so back to my pew 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 kerclunk kerclunk. Oh, there's some weirdness in this one. All right, we're going to shape these two in, I don't know, some really weird way. Speed up this tail. We'll slow down this one, but we'll increase its mod range so it can do some stuff. And then this. Let's end them both down so they actually feel like they're going somewhere else. And we'll even start them both kind of high. And then we'll just do opposites. Right, let's take these bodies down just a smidge. Oh, it's probably this guy right here. Okay, and he's also a really soft attack, too. Oof, that. Pew, pew, pew. Things go boom. Heyo. Look at that. Sharing of the links. Yo! Danny's here. Here to say, yo. What's going on? I think we were supposed to catch up like a week or two ago, and we did not. I probably completely failed, so... And we should do that, because you were saying you had some stuff to run past me, and I wanted to catch up with you after you went to NAMM, and... yeah, you said you stopped by a certain booth. I wanted to hear about that. You know, some stuff. Yes. Yes. I'll keep an eye out for it. I promise. Did KBB show up yet? No, but everybody, when Kwame Brown walks through the door at some point, whether it's here on this stream or elsewhere that you guys frequent, make sure to ask him how his weekend was. Everyone. Every damn one of you. Yeah, no, I feel like life is just consistently and constantly just getting nutty and getting in the way, Danny. That's, I think, maybe its prime directive at this point. I'm not sure what it was previously, but I think at this point it is nuttiness. All right, let's record, and I think this probably is our capture track here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just move all of these down. Mute that, and let's set its output to none, or input to none, and rock and roll. This guy armed. So now if we pew pew pew, it should record. Okay. So let's do that then. Let's record. I'm going to do a little futzing with some parameters over here as we go, so there will be some awkward pauses and stuff probably. Let's go. I've got saturation and ring model. I don't want that, do I? There we go. Better. Indubitably. We should have a little thing that goes off in the chat every time someone says indubitably. Get some bursts in here really quick. All right, we're just gonna mess some stuff up here. All right, let's grab some different samples. Get those into the mix. I'm going to drop these down here. We'll go and pick them up later. Oh man, Danny watched Boondock Saints for the first time over the weekend. That's awesome. Of course it's relevant. It's the first time you've ever watched Boondock Saints, so it's like, come on. That's great. That's awesome. What a journey. Oh man. You got 13 more tracks coming this year, Liv? That's that you know of at this point? All right, I'm going to take I'm going to take out this. I'm going to take out this one. I'm going to take out all of these bodies. I'm going to go again. Body. Chat. Just going to hand pick a few here. And then we're going to include in this batch, we're going to include some beams. That's going to change this a bit. We're going to make those kind of zappy, I think, is what I'm thinking. Man, I keep saying, I keep saying that like you can't make the magic happen until you put yourself out there. And, like being vulnerable is, you know, it's the way to go. Making things happen. I just keep thinking of Kwame, and I want to tell you guys really awesome things. We're gonna go like kind of a soft attack here, ramp up, go here. Keep this one pretty tight. We're gonna keep just this one little bank of beams in here, I think. And then body. What if we do a weird? Can we do like an extra whoosh in here, or would it be too weird to have one of my weird granular servos in here as a shot thing? Try it. Let's try it. Let's just see what happens if we do that. It's 80. This may fail miserably here. So these are kind of long and abstract in nature. But we'll see. Okay, let's put all of those onto a curve here, and we'll make them pretty succinct, and we'll start them pretty, kind of snappy. All right, and over here, let's just take out these granulars, and instead we're going to put in some caulking sounds. So these might be a little shotgunny, but it might sound kind of cool with the beam sound and weird little granular whoosh. We'll see. It could just be a failed weird experiment. All right, let's figure out what we have to do here to shore this up. All right, let's go ahead and listen, see what we did. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be pretty weird with... Okay, so then you... Okay, so this is by the level. All right, let's see if that feels better. Whoa, okay, these are pretty cool. Let's move the body back a bit. These are all going to happen a little bit quicker. Oh, okay, let's not get this big charge up thing happening. Let's go quicker on that. Drop to here and then just plummet maybe. This. Whoa. Yeah, that's a little bit better. We're going to get there quicker. Oh, except I want this to pitch down as it's going, so we got to get there even quicker. Hold on just a second. All right, let's try this. That's a little bit better. What if we go almost all the way? Oofed. Oh man, I dream of a day when we get much better envelope control from Krotos. Okay, those all feel about right. Wow, I'm kind of contemplating some post-processing here. Some good stuff. Oh no, oh no, yeah. I hope Tom remains responsive. Oh man, Danny, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's a good show. Now that kind of makes me want to rewatch. Nameology. Prox is asking, do you have any advice for reliably taming peaks on tinky metallic sounds without hollowing it out? Stock compression isn't really giving me what I want, and a limiter doesn't seem to be helping. Yeah, yeah, I do. What specifically? Um, what specifically is one of the sounds? Can you share like one of these types of sounds with me, and then I'll give you a couple of ideas about how I would normally go about that, because it kind of depends upon the sound. Well, everything depends upon the sound, not kind of, but better if we talk in context. All right, let's record a couple of these. That background music still okay with you guys? We can spend a little time swapping some out. Oh, that was weird. That was cool. That was like a little droid shooting some sort of awesome photon launcher in Star Wars. Ooh, let's bring this guy down just a little. Speed-wise. Ooh. Oh, what if we tighten this guy up as well? This guy, let's bring him down. This guy down and increase his depth a bit. Oh, that one sounded kind of cheesy. I'm gonna just make the beam just a little bit longer than the rest right now and see what that sounds like. Such a long file. It's like freaking a Furby down there or something. That's pretty dope. I'll pitch down. And I really wish there was a way to control these better. Whoa. I'm going to bring it way back now. Whoa, that was really long. Yeah, I wish amplitude cut in the envelope meant actual stopping of playback. But it does not. Be cool if it did. Oof. Through the sample into mixing room. It's AFF. Oh, that's cool. I like AF. It's one of my favorite things. We'll just put that right there. Danny, take care, homie. Good luck staying productive. All that good stuff. Appreciate you, brother. All right, so to the Discord. And we're going to here. All right, so we're looking at this file from Proxima here. And I don't know what it sounds like yet. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is a really good... Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. This is a really good example for a way to use distortion in a way that you're not expecting. If you have just like a simple overdrive tool that allows you to target the frequency, just take out the drive so you're not adding any kind of grit. And now you've got just this color finishing tool. Okay, so now you're not actually losing any of like the presence and full force and all that kind of stuff. You still have a knob that you can use to reveal the fullness of the thing, and you don't have to actually use a filter or compression. So this might be a good way of doing it. Let's see, this is at 135, you say? Yeah. So let me just make this darker for you. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things I might do here. Like, before we even touch the overdrive, you can just kind of look at the peak here and say, all right, this peak is pretty strong, right? Like, if you're looking at the difference between these other peaks, it's a fair bit. So you could, if you really wanted to, just tap some of it down to where it's not really affecting too much of the other tonality in this thing, and then hit it with your overdrive. Right? Or you could also, if you're wanting to be just like a little bit more precise or whatever, you could go into like a multi-band compression type thing, and you could just look at a specific area. You could also use a responsive EQ to do the same exact thing here. But all you really have to do is recognize where the activity peak is, right? And then just dial up your threshold for that area there. So now it's reducing those peaks by about 10, but it's not touching any of the rest of the sound. So responsive IQ, dynamic EQ, yeah, same. And what you do is, it's the same exact thing as a multiband compression. A responsive EQ is basically, because you're identifying a bandwidth that you're going to operate in and then figure out how much you're going to attenuate by. So by and large, we're talking the same kind of thought here, or mechanics. It just kind of depends on what you want from the rest of the sound, other than those peaks that would then help me figure out what tool I would actually end up using, right? It could easily just be a combination between a couple tools like this. This right here seems to be like a pretty nice resting spot. And then instead of going back and risking losing that stopping point, or like kind of distracting ourselves in a different direction, we could actually reach for something entirely different on the other side of this. And that's probably what I would do, just because it tends to open up more like creative options for you post-mortem, so to speak. Post that decision, I should say, maybe. So maybe we would reach for something a bit more wild, right? So instead of just overdrive, we bring in something with the filter and saturation simultaneously to disclose those higher frequencies when we do, or something. Could always just hit the random and see what happens here. Yeah, I mean, actually something like this, if you were to bring your overdrive up with it just a little bit, just kind of feed into this. And then you're bringing it back down, so you get the brilliance up there, but without any of the harshness, because the the multipressor, the multiband compressor is maintaining the peak control for you, and you're still getting all the character from the surrounding frequencies. So this might be a nice little kind of workflow for you. Yeah, I tend to, like, if you were to actually look at one of my projects where I'm actually making music, everything is so tiny. The waveforms are so tiny. People look at my project sometimes and they're like, why are you doing this? I think I was at like 70 for these. Yeah, I was. Okay. Yeah, but more than anything, it's just about the ability to bring in more when I say I'm ready for it than anything else. Things tend to blend together better at a lower velocity, too, amplitude-wise in the DAW, I have found. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different thoughts and schools of thought, rules of thumb, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, really, this is how layering works. Yeah, it requires headroom plus some, and then also, like, if you're really going to bring some stuff together, oh my goodness. Right, using some saturation and whatnot. You want that stuff to bloom. Bloom. There's a word that people should use more in regards to sound. Let's save this and let's chop silence here. Let's strip silence and see how many samples we actually got here. This is another 4, it looks like. Alright, let's see if that's about right. And we're going to split this other batch of sounds too. Alright, there's a couple of non-samples in here. There's probably another 90 samples in this guy. 67 the last one. So there's another 150, and I think we're sitting on like 130 or something on this track. Yeah, there's 130 here. So add all that stuff up, we're at 286. All right, well, let's just go through and listen to a couple of sounds and decide what we want to do with them all. Yeah, we're still going to go in and do a couple more sets. These are good. But definitely need more profiles. These short ones are great. What do you think? Plasma cannon, maybe? All right, those are tasty. Let's see what these are all about here. All right. What do we have here? We've got, it's 12:30. Let's say we want to take a look at... how do we want to do these? We could use like faceplant, right? We can start building up everything, or not faceplant, but what's the rack that they make? And just start building everything modularly. Retain continuity that way. Or we can just go full on one-shot madness. And just make everything super unique and say, screw continuity. Just give me the freaking gold. Let's do that. Let's go for one of these. Pulling out Rift twice in like 5 minutes. Let's go towards maybe feedback and particle delays, maybe, to get started. Sneezy G! Welcome in. Happy New Year, homie. Been a minute. I made some sounds like this today. They were a second or third layer of a fifth layer project. How you been, homie? Ooh, you know what I think might be good? Let's see if we can use this. Let's see here. How can we do this? Let's save. And let's go towards reactor. And then can we use as an effect... Can we use polyplex effects in here? Could we? If I just put, here, let's just put this user one in here. And I'm only using this for audio. Will you allow me to? Global effects. No, it's not going to do anything. What if I have a filter on? No, okay. I want to be able to use these guys. Okay, so if I can't use that, let me think. What else? We could use S layer. Let's see if S layer will load for effects. Okay, this is probably not going to work either, but I just want to see. Okay, it sees audio in. It does see audio in. These are just effects here. Okay. I don't think I can do it. That sucks. I was really hoping that I could use their effects specifically. So flippin' good. So flippin' good. Okay, so instead we will use something entirely different. Let's stay within reactor for a moment, and instead we'll go to, let's go processors here. Oof. Alright, let's get this flancher on here instead. For those who aren't familiar with Blink Sonic, they make stuff for Reactor. They're absolutely nuts. They're just so incredibly good. So incredibly good. Oof. Okay, so I think I might use a little bit of Blink Sonic. I'm not sure if I want to use Rift or Thermal, but I'm definitely going to have either a multiband or a filter modulated distortion involved. I think I might go thermal on these guys. I think. Well, that said, let's turn this off and let's go back over here really quick. Just some feedback stuff really quick. Yeah, let's see here. Let's move this up a bit. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Hmm. Oof. Okay. This is actually getting pretty dope over here. Let's get this up a bit more. Oof. Let's get out of those. Whoa. All right, we'll end up maybe splitting the difference between Rift and Thermal. Because I really, really like a lot of the active modulation I can get away with. Inside of Rift, you get a little bit more precision, though, out of Thermal. It more just has to do with the approach to the distortion. But I do like this idea, adding a rhythmic layer to some of these. Ooh, yeah. Okay. You know, after this little processing exploration, I think we're actually pretty close on this whole pack. And I go back and look at my numbers, but I think one more big pass, maybe 2 kits. And we can jump into processing. We'll probably end up with around 500 sounds, I would imagine. That's kind of what I'm guessing. Which seems about right. This could be a pretty interesting pack. Alright, now I kind of want to take a quick swipe at some of these. Some of these are much shorter than this top row of sounds. And that makes me feel like I can get away with just a little bit of something here. Granular side of things. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of glitch in here. Yeah. Ooh, that tail. Listen to this tail. I want to hear that again. Hmm. I'm having a little idea for a weapon making toy here. Hmm. Ooh, some really great tails in here. Ooh. Whoa. Right, Liv? It's a good one. That's a particularly fun one. Oof. Oh. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, not so sold on the granular stuff as much for these as I am the saturation stuff, but there is still something I'm hearing in my brain that's I guess it's more of like a granular sampler kind of thing. Okay, I'll put a pin in that little thought. Come back to that. This takes care of a good 2/3 of our processing needs here. That's great. Oh yeah, Space Cadet Windows Pinball game. Yeah. Liv just did a remix of that song. The current flunk sounds reminds me of the intro to a virtual self song. Be right back while I find it. Oh, nice. Gotta love those moments. That's awesome. Oh, the internet. Helping us connect to our inner child in such astounding ways. Hmm. Hmm. Just really quick before I stop looking at these things. Let's move this to about here. All right. Well, I'm actually pretty stoked on the inside knowing now that I've got most of my processing figured out and that this thing will be done soon and that it will be about 500 sounds because that just checks all of the boxes for me. Eon Break by Virtual Self. Man. Eon Break, right? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look at Liv, just nailing it right there. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, this is some digital goodness, this stuff. Cyber weapons. I don't know that I really want to knock out another batch of them right now. Honestly. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my ears a break before I actually start bouncing that or recording that last round and then starting the processing. Saf, you have a wonderful day too, my friend. Appreciate you, homie. I'm going to come over here and see who's streaming. See who's up. Who's out there right now? Hubert's here. Breaking down some stuff. Let's go say hi to Q. It's been a bit. All right, kitty cats. I'll be back in a couple of days on Wednesday, hump day, as we like to call it here. And we'll be getting up to some stuff. We might actually be wrapping up the processing of the sounds in this pack, for all we know. So tune in then. Until then, know that you're appreciated and whatnot. And we're going to go watch Q. He's going to be working on this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's an all wooden quad DJ double deck dueling station. You have to see it to believe it. So I'll see you guys on the flip. Let's go say hi to Q.